Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to our last live broadcast for today. And I got to tell you something. Things are really heating up. All right. I'm hearing from more of my students that are having unprecedented success in their business. And at the end of the day, it's all about talking to people. You're going to find this is going to be the best time of the year. Talk to people. Re-engage people that you've talked to in the past. And restart a conversation. All right. I mean, we're talking about it never being faster. Never being easier. All right. So here's the deal. Got 9 days left. And by posting, you could be engaging more people in conversations. And with Christmas right around the corner, you can start having these conversations now. Terry enrolled 3 people in 2 days. Did my first pace, had 12 conversations, brought in 3 new people into my business within 2 days of the post. 3 people in 2 days. Then 2 days later, it's 3 more. Now, this is something all of you can be doing. Every one of you. Right, so I'm going to drop over here. I'm going to log out of Felix account. We just did a coaching session. All right, so I'm going to scroll down here. Let's see. Here, let me unmute Tom.
Hi, Max.
Yeah, hi, Tom. It doesn't look like, you've been very busy on LinkedIn.
It's been, I haven't had a chance to get on LinkedIn very much.
Okay. Well, what are you trying to market and sell?
Same thing I've been with in the past, STEMTech.
STEMTech. Okay. So let me ask you a question. How long have you been with them?
Since 2007.
Right. So you were part of that group that Howard Steger was in.
Correct.
Remember Howard?
I do, very much so.
What a great guy.
He was.
Um,
Actually, he kind of helped to inspire me.
I got to tell you something. Howard really inspired a lot of people. Now, it's interesting because Howard hated Facebook. Okay, he never liked Facebook. Let me bring up Howard's. Let me bring up Howard's page. Now, everybody has a story. Okay. And let me share Howard's with all of you, because this will inspire anybody. And I'm going to share part of Howard's story that we never really talked about very much. But how, and by the way, 11 months after Howard got going, he was making $100,000 a month in his business. In fact, if I go over to Facebook, Howard was a CPA, and he was hit by, rear-ended by a drunk driver, and the vertebrae in the back of his neck were fused. So he wasn't able to turn his head. He wasn't able to drive a car. So he was disabled. And a friend of his, who was been a student of mine for years, told Howard about this company that had a product, because he had a ailment that was really debilitating. So he gets on the products, and he's helped tremendously. And then he decides, well, I can make some money with this. So his friend gave him my books, my tapes, and he ends up jumping into a boot camp of mine. I think it was in February of 2010. And he went wild with this. Every time his company opened up in a different country, he was using MySpace. He never liked Facebook. He was using MySpace, and he was using LinkedIn. Every time his company opened up in another country, Howard had been prospecting there. So he was bringing over pastors, ministers, people in real estate, and network marketers that were all excited about being involved with an established company that was coming into their country. And I remember at one point in time, he wrote back to me and he says, you know, this 1 hour a day thing isn't working for me, because I'm putting in 5, 6, 7 hours a day. Granted, I'm making more money than I've ever made before. So he ends up bringing his son and his daughter-in-law into the business. Let's see if I've got. So I guess they've taken away the conversation. Let's see if I've got it over here. No. So anyway, what happened with Howard was he was doing, he did amazingly well. It took him 11 months. Let me tell you Howard's whole story. Howard was adopted. His mother was a prostitute that gave him up for adoption right after he was born. And he had polio. So he was adopted by this wonderful couple. So he wore braces as he was growing up. And because the school systems back then were not equipped to handle people with braces, he was actually put in a class for special needs, retarded kids. But they soon realized that he was anything but retarded. So he wore braces on his legs until he was 18 years old. Howard went on to go to college. He got 2 degrees. He was an accountant. Financially, he was doing very, very well. And you see the picture there, he's in a special chair because he couldn't turn his neck. So network marketing for Howard changed his career. And people never knew. How's he doing it? And like I said, he would go, if the country was going to be opening up in the Philippines, he'd go jump on MySpace, he'd jump on LinkedIn, and he'd look for people that were in the Philippines. And he'd be reaching out to people that had large circles of influence. And he would do it ahead of the class, ahead of the opening. So the opening day, Howard had some of the first signups. And everybody wanted to know, Howard, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And he used to just tell him, he says, hey, get into one of Max's boot camps. Now we got to a point where the money's coming in, his son and his daughter-in-law are doing the business. So Howard set up a side business. He used to buy these storage rental places, where people would put their belongings in storage. I think he ended up with 11 of them. So he let his kids work the business. He's buying the stuff. He loved the business because every month there were units that they would sell off or auction off. And he was fascinated by the whole thing. And he was a classic example of multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income does not mean you be in 2 or 3 different network marketing companies. You find one that's working, and then you can take the money and you do other things with it. In Howard's case, he was buying these storage units. Well, Howard passed away, I think it was 2 years ago. And but he lived a rich, full life. If we go over here to Facebook, I think there's probably so as you can see here, great guy. Great guy. So anyway, let's get back to Tom. So you've been with STEMTech for a long time. So you're a retired architectural consultant. How long have you been retired?
In the early 2000s, I don't remember the exact year I quit.
Okay. All right. And it's kind of interesting because you love the products. And what was it that prompted you to get into the business? Was it the products, or was it you looking for an income opportunity, or both?
Actually, I was looking for something, but I had a friend, a lady that went to the same church as I did, and she was a network marketer and always trying to sell, push something on somebody. And so she got involved with STEMTech, and uh, in the beginning. So she was always trying to push it over on me. And finally I said, well, I'll give it a try. And I figured, I'll try it for a little bit. If I don't feel anything, then at least I can tell her I tried and get her off my back.
Right.
So that's how I got started on it. And actually I was taking the products. And at first I didn't see anything. It just felt normal. And then after a couple months, I woke up one Saturday. I've always worked long hours. And so like on weekends, I would actually sleep in on Saturday mornings. It didn't make my wife happy, but that's the way it was. And so one Saturday morning, I woke up real early and walked outside, and she says, want to know why I was up and everything else. And I said, I feel good. I feel great. I feel like doing something. And so then I started thinking, well, what's causing this? Because, all of a sudden I'm feeling better. And I said, the only thing I've been doing is taking these pills. So then I just started experimenting a little bit, take a little bit more, take a little bit less. And when I took less or went off of them, I reverted back to my situation that was before I started, which I have a case of sleep apnea real bad. I actually had a doctor tell me I'm borderline narcoleptic, but I don't have all the narcoleptic symptoms. So, but I can, if I get tired, I need to go lay down or try to fight through it.
Right.
And so these products have helped me with that. They help me, they do give me energy, and that's what helps me to able to work through it or last longer in it. And that's the reason I've stayed with them for so long.
Mhm. So, I mean, you've certainly been with them for a long time. So from the standpoint of being a product user that, clearly believes in the products, I mean, you've got a story. But what about building the business? Do you have any interest in doing that?
I definitely have an interest in that. It's just that I have so many other things going on that I'm trying, that I take care of on a daily basis
Uh-huh.
or on a weekly basis, constantly. So I don't have a lot of times. I'd actually get on your programs as much as I can, just while I'm doing other things. And so I, just to kind of get more of idea what's going on and what you're doing, because I want to get my business going, my network marketing business. And so I figure the best thing to do is just stay close to your programs, your Ask Max sessions and the boot camps. But anyway, that's where I've been staying.
Have I ever logged into your account?
Like you are now?
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
Okay, so I'm going to log out of mine. And what's the email address that you use to get in?
Surfing,
What is it?
surfing _4.
Servant, SC.
Surfing. It's like surfing, only no G.
Servant. Surf.
FIN _4 at MSN. .com.
Okay, so, all right, can you type in the chat window your password?
Let me see.
Okay. Okay, so apparently that's not the email.
Oh, you're right. That goes to something else. I'd have to look it up.
Let me see.
No, I know on the fast, when you click on it, it used to pop up. Or when you were selecting somebody next to mine.
Mhm. Let me see if no, that's the only one I haven't on file.
Okay.
It's got to be something else.
Okay, try Tom Balcom 1 at Gmail.
Maybe it's this one here. Tom.
That'll work.
Well, it most certainly did work. Okay. So right now, you're connected to 122 people. And let's just take a quick peek at your settings. Now it's interesting because the health, wellness, and fitness category doesn't exist anymore. LinkedIn scrambled that because they found that most of their troublemakers are part of that group. All right, let's take a look here. Visibility. Now, right now, you have your follow button on it instead of your connect button, because so we got to turn this off. We want to make it easier for people.
I did have it off.
Oh,
LinkedIn must
yeah.
have changed it.
Oh, yeah, they they do that all the time. So now let's go back over here. All right, so one of the things that you need to do is you want to treat this like a resume. So as engineering and architecture, so you're a 45-year career. Now, did you work for any companies, or did you just start out? I mean, obviously you had to work for other people to get your experience.
I
So,
did. Yeah, I used to work. I worked for several different architectural firms
okay,
around the country, but all the last 5 years or a little more, I worked as a consultant. Because what happened is when the economy would go down, and as one of the examples that I had, the owners came to me and was talking with me. They said they really wanted to keep me on, but they also wanted to keep most of their employees on because they were paying me a lot more money as a consultant. And I told them, your employees need to work worse than I do. And I told them I would, I will quit so you can keep your other employees on. And then I would rather, if you need me or something, just let me know and I'll come in and I'll help you out. And that's kind of where I started my consulting in. And it also benefited me when I wanted to find work where nobody else could, because I would look for architects that were getting in new projects and they hadn't or were just getting ready to gear up. And I would go in and help them get set up, and I'd coordinate the drawings. I'd review everything and take a lot of load off of the main architects so that they could do the things they need. And I would take over the managing of the developing the plans and coordinating with the other engineers and getting things straightened out and doing quality control checking.
okay, so let's do this. Let's come up here, add a position. And what was the name of one of the companies that you worked for an extended period of time?
MRI Architectural Group.
MRI. There you go. And where were they located?
Orlando, Florida.
And approximately when did you work there?
Ooh,
Doesn't have to be exact.
let's see. I'd rather have to go back and look at my archives. I was working there probably to the early 2000.
Okay, so let's put down. And how long did you work for them? 10 years?
Actually, I retired with it, so I put probably a good 20.
Okay, so that would have meant that you started working with them in 2000.
Well, I probably started in the 90s, the 1990s.
Okay, so we'll put down, started in 1990, and you don't work there anymore. And you worked there until 2010. It's close enough,
That's close enough.
all right? And your position there was architect, staff architect? What was it?
No, I didn't really carry the architectural credentials. More of a project manager.
Okay. All right, so we'll save that. Now, as an architectural consultant, couldn't you also, you're also an architect, right?
Um, no, I'm not a registered architect.
Okay, let's so let's come back over here.
I could have been registered, but when Florida said you had to get registered, then I had a chance to take the exams, but I had to first come up with documentation and letters of service, and how long I'd been and where I've worked, and a lot of things. And some companies I worked for, the employees that I needed passed on, and it was too expensive for me at that time to travel across the country to try to search down people to get the qualifications I needed to present to the state of Florida.
Gotcha.
So I didn't, so I never took the exam.
Okay, so now but if this is supposed to represent STEM tech, you've been doing this a lot longer, since July of 2016. It would have been about 2009, right? 2010.
Yeah, when um, I was doing it or trying to get started with it back when you were in AOL,
Whoa.
MySpace.
Right. So, okay, so let's do this. Let's come around and let's edit this. And we'll put down let's go 2004. Okay, and we're going to put down January. Okay, so now what this does is this paints a picture where with this, you could be going out and you could be talking to professionals that would be interested in your business. Now let's come over here and let's look at your headline. So we're going to get rid of global because the internet is global. And
Well, the reason I put it global down is because STEM Tech is still operating in about 14 countries.
oh, for sure. For sure. That's why the name of your company is what it's called. Okay. But the internet is also global. So I mean, see, terminology has changed, over the years. And what we want to do is we want to put ourselves out there using the words that would appeal to the audience that we're trying to reach, that we're trying to impress.
Mhm.
So I'm an internet entrepreneur. The internet's global. You're also a home business coach. Because what do? We help people get started in a business, basically on the internet. In addition to that, well, real estate investor is still good.
That's what keeps me really busy right now.
Mhm. So you're also we want to take it easy with space. So you're a real estate investor, you're also social media. Let's go with expert. And let's put down because you help people transition. Now, what's this custom engraving thing?
I do custom hand engraving. I actually carve and do calligraphy on glass for the most of the time.
Okay. So let's save this. So this gives people a better sense of what you do. Now, I love the saying, okay? But what we want to do is we want to create an image where people can look at your profile and say, hey, this is somebody that I would like to get to know. This is somebody that I can benefit from knowing.
Yeah, I've had that up for a while. I was thinking of changing it myself.
So let's pop over here and let's change the picture. And let's find a cover. Now, one thing that you could clearly do that would give people a sense of, hey, you're one very successful person, would be So basically what you're telling people is, hey, once you begin to change, so will the world around. And what do? We help people. Now, the next thing, and you don't need very much, is we want to go up here and we want to look for people that we know ahead of time are clearly looking for an opportunity. And we could filter this down by location and by, profession. So let's say we wanted to connect with people in sales. But let's find people that are interested in remote sales. In other words, they want to work from home. So right now, there's 3,000 people that are interested in remote opportunities in sales working from home. We come over here, we do locations, we just do the United States. You got 1,600. Now, remote sales. Remote customer service, you got 10,000 people. That would easily connect with you. Person is looking for a remote opportunity with an organization will help foster a gainful. So he worked at Bank of America and now he's looking for other work. So there's no shortage of people that you could be reaching out to, looking for opportunities. Let's just go remote. That's a wide brush. Got 23,000 people. Okay, look for an opportunity to help others work remote and create residual income. Well, we know she's in network marketing. And we could see her, she was in Kivana, which was sold to Zija in 2017 and 2007 and 2021. Kivana or Zija became part of Isogenics. Okay, now she's been on here a long time. She's got a follow button. So she was in Zri, Ivana. So what's she doing now? Because we know, well, she says here she's doing Awaken. What's Awaken? But the one thing, if we go back and look at her profile, So she's got a follow button. Let's look at her contact information. Well, there's other things that she could be putting up there. So right out of the gate, you know more about social media than she does. So what's Awaken? Let's go over here and just type in. Awaken. Now, is that awakened? Awaken, not awakened. Now, the other thing that she's doing, which is frankly deceptive, we're hiring. You're not hiring. This is the kind of activity that's taken place on LinkedIn. She's not hiring. So the bottom line for all of you is it would only take you, let's go over here, bring up her profile. We're not going to follow her. We're going to send her a connection request. And we're going to send her a note. As it gets several times, of course, of what you do, that we should be connected. And if to look at your profile, I would have to agree with them. And we'll send it. So, is she a prospect for your business? Who knows? But the more people, now see, once you're connected to her, she's got 4,700 friends. See, right now, you got 100, you're connected to 122 people. Well, they're giving you credit for 117. Well, these 117 people are connected to 421,000. These 421,000 connect you, according to them, to 865 million. Well, considering that LinkedIn has 890 million, you're pretty much connected to everybody on LinkedIn. So, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, making connections and talking to people. So I know you're busy doing other stuff. But let's say, for example, you could make $1,000 a week in your business. Could you find an hour a day to do this?
That's what I'm working on right now, is to work some extra time so I can spend it on the internet, on LinkedIn.
Mhm. Well, you do it when you can. And Doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take time. And the other thing is, it's fun. So let's come up here and take a look at somebody that's a. Let's look and see how many architects. On LinkedIn. And you got 3.8 million. Let's just say United States. So you got 1 million. Let's see how many of them are retired. So you got 16,000. So these are people that you could easily connect with, easily have some things to talk about. Now, you don't necessarily have to just focus on this group, because there are other people out there that are clearly going to be interested in looking for an opportunity. So it starts with your profile. And once your profile, for all intents and purposes, is done, it's just a matter of you reaching out to starting conversations with people. And the other thing that you're going to find is LinkedIn's going to make it easy. So we come down here. They're telling you about people to follow. Let's come down here. People you know with similar roles. So she's a business owner, ACM, Juice Plus, Doterra. Jack of all trades, probably a master of none. But you know, now she's only got 3 connections, so most likely she created this page. And wisely never did anything with it. We go over here to activity. Wow.
2 weeks ago.
Unbelievable. So this woman really needs help. Easy to start up a conversation with somebody like this and, you know, find out what does she do. But, you know, frankly, you'd be better off well, she's certainly giving it an effort. Well, she likes Ray Higdon, so you know better. You got better stuff. Again, there are a lot better candidates out there than this one. But there's nothing. Whoops. Unable to connect. Interesting. Now, you may get this from time to time. Because LinkedIn is going through some major changes. Oh, anyway, let's kind of give you an idea of what's available. So when you free up some time, get back to me, because with your background and the things that you do, there are all kinds of people out there that would be anxious to talk to you. As far as the rest of you are concerned, you're all sitting on a gold mine. So Catherine, I got it yesterday, sent it again and it went through. Well, we did it twice and it didn't. You never know. All righty, I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. for a broadcast. Until next time, best of luck.